on Israel. And joining us now is CNN Global Affairs analyst Kimberly Dozier. Kim, great to have you here. First, I want to hear what you think about what comes next, what an Israeli counterattack could look like and how the U.S. might factor into it.
Well, Israel at any time has, just like the Pentagon, a number of potential targets singled out that it could strike. And I really think that this time they're going to do more than they did in response to Iran's strikes last April. Hit a wider array, but still they're going to carefully calibrate it so as not to cause major casualties. I think you're going to see possibly some of the nuclear sites that Iran has that are under construction. So there's not an active weapons program in there. They might hit something like that. That way they can't be accused of hitting a nuclear facility that might spread nuclear material. Surely they will go after some of the sites where all of those ballistic missiles were launched in yesterday's attack. And they might go after energy infrastructure as well, because as costly as firing 180 some odd ballistic missiles from Iran at Israel would have been to Iran, Israel spent a lot of money in its various air defense systems, knocking most of those ballistic missiles out of the sky. So they really want to send a message that this can't just be tit for tat. This can't just keep happening back and forth. They want Iran to think many, many times before launching another such strike. And I think they also want to damage some of the capability so that Iran needs to take a while to rebuild and reconstruct its launch facilities.
Do you think that the U.S. government, the Biden administration, will be in alignment with Israel on that, whatever decision they make?
Yeah, we are hearing a very different message from Jake Sullivan, from the Biden administration, in the aftermath of the Iranian strikes than we did last time. You might recall that last time when those 300 missiles, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and suicide drones struck Israel, it did very little damage. A child was injured in one of the strikes, but no one was killed. And Biden had said, take the win. This time, you heard Sullivan talk about serious ramifications, a serious response. So I think we're going to see Israel brief in some way the U.S. beforehand, and the U.S. at least provide some sort of cover to whatever Israel decides to do. And that also helps play into the election here in the U.S., because one of the raps that the Republicans have had against candidate Kamala Harris, the vice president, is that she has been tough in some of her comments on Netanyahu. If the Biden administration backs whatever Israel is about to do, that stands her in better stead as well.
And just in the next kind of 48 to 72 hours, Rosh Hashanah starts today and goes for the next 2 days. What impact might that have in all of this, especially as we near to the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th attacks?
I think the response this time is going to be faster than last time, despite the high holiday in Israel. They don't generally take days off in a situation like this. So I think as soon as Israel feels like it's briefed the U.S. and the weather conditions are favorable for whatever they are sending through the sky towards Iran, they'll execute.
Mm-hmm. And then what about, and just before I let you go, because we are approaching the October 7th anniversary, where we are at this moment, just give us a little bit of context of where we've been in the last year, and is this about where you thought we would be 1 year in?
Well, when you talk to Israeli military officials, current and former, they take some comfort in the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah and the impact on Hezbollah and its ability to threaten Israel in the north. But that's not done yet. And they still haven't finished any sort of major investigations into the intelligence failure that allowed October 7th to happen. So in terms of the military and the intelligence operatives and operations inside Israel, people are still pretty chastened. They say that the success of what's happened in Lebanon shows you how Israel had been so focused on the north and not enough on what was happening in Gaza. Meanwhile, the families of the hostages are very upset that so much attention and manpower is now being focused on Lebanon, and that seems to have just knocked aside all chances of ceasefire negotiations and any release of the hostages from Gaza.
Yeah, those hostages still there, and I know those families and those loved ones are just aching to get them home. Kimberly Dozier in Washington, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.